than ever. Here we go. All right. Hopefully this is coming out to you live. We should be getting any minute now. We should be getting our stream coming through. And here we go. All right. There is the Tasty Trade platform. Where am I? Here I am. All right. Here I am. Great. Very good. All right. We're getting ready to start here. Little technical issues as we go to 3:30 from 3:15. Turns out 3:30 comes a little earlier than I thought. But that's okay. That's all right. We are doing great today. Everybody likes to see the chart. Let's see if I got the chart up where I can see it. Look at that. We're up $31,000, I think, is what we're doing today. Not too shabby. Hello, Mario. Good to see you in the chat. Love it. By the way, had some fun times today. Before we do that, let's go ahead and take a look at the rest of these. So where are we in the $30,000 6 trades a day challenge? Looks like we're up around $700. Not too shabby. I'll take it. And like I said, in the $1 million challenge where we're doing, I think I saw around 160 is what I heard we were doing today on the bots. And we've had 28 losers, as you can see. The percentage really doesn't show up accurately because if you have a loser, it shows as 2 losers, both the short side and the long side. But the way you just calculate it, ooh, there you go. It looks like we're up 30 grand. Is that right? You take the P&L prop, the green, and you subtract the green, subtract the red. That's basically what you do. Green, subtract the red. So if you're new to the channel, if you're just watching for the first time, please join us in the chat. I'm happy to answer any questions that you might have. My name is Rob Helmick. I am a professional trader. All I do is trade all day long, every day. Our company is based primarily on math-based trading. At least that's what I do. I do around 7 to 10 million back tests every single weekend. So we back test 7 million to 10 million trades. And then we run those trades through AI and we come up with the top 200. Then I manually go through them and look for some issues that, bunching and that kind of thing. Also risk tolerance. Then we run it back through AI again for a final wash. And she kicks out about 175 trades that we'll then put on sometime during the day. And then we use bots to trade. All of our back testing is done through Options Omega. There's lots of back testing out there, but they are far and away superior. They are an 11, and their nearest competitor is about a 4. We just love them. We get nothing from them. If you do use or you want to sign up for them, there's a 50% coupon off in every single one of our videos. They give me $15, and I use it to buy dog toys for our dog Barbie or give it to the Humane Society. So if you love dogs and cats, buy Options Omega at 50% off. We also use Options Omega for all of our robots, and another thing we like about them is they have great execution. Like I said, they're going to run around 170, 150 trades for us every single day. I think we did, well, you know what? Let's do this. Let's take a look at what we did. Here is the $30,000 account since October 1st, and you can see in that one we ran about almost 2,000 trades, and we're up about $10,000. Not too bad in a $30,000 account, so 33% in 4 months. I'm going to say that's around, what is that, around 90%, 100% rate of return, not too shabby. Then in the $1 million account, we did 10,700 trades since October 1st, so quite a few number of trades. All these trades through Options Omega, all of them are tracked in Options Omega. Not only do they get great back testing, and they have great bots, that they also have great record keeping. So if you're looking to track your trades, it's very difficult on a broker. They just show you leg after leg after leg, and it's much easier when you're using something like Options Omega. So if we're making $329,000 in 4 months, that's going to track to about $1 million profit on $1 million worth of buying power. When we talk about these two, they are buying power, not account size. It's the only fair way to do it, really, because if I have a $10 million account and you have a $100 million account and we're both investing $1 million, if I double that $1 million, it's 10% to me. But if you double that $1 million, it's only 1% to you. So really the only accurate way to do it is buying power. If anybody is out, Mario, if you're out there, if you see, if you can hear me okay and see me okay, I'd sure appreciate it. We're getting ready to try some new equipment here, and we are testing it, and it's less than ideal today because I didn't have a time to back test it, so I'm kind of winging it here. So let's take a look at the chart. I know we all like to see the chart, see where we are with this bad boy. We don't have our numbers in yet, so let's take a look at the Tasty Trade platform here. I'm surprised to see the small account up to $700. I had almost all my calls punched out at 1,300. Oh, really? Evergreen? No kidding. Will you share the trade log in the Discord later? I will. As a matter of fact, why not just do it here, right? I mean, that's what we paid for. Let's see if we can just look at it here. Why not? Live a little. So here is the, I don't know if you can see this or not. Again, I've got some new equipment, so I apologize if this is not clear. Here are the ones that are good. Yeah, you can't see the ones that are punched out. I don't know how to do that. Ugh. But that's a good call. So let me just take a look and see what got punched out. All calls got punched out. And you can see from here, there are 8 trades that got punched out. And the calls are the noon. There's one. So 2 of the noons got punched out. The 11:53 got punched out on the all call side. And so did the 10:01s. So these are the ones that are remaining. Video and audio, good, great. So there you go, Evergreen. If I follow up with me in the Discord. I'm going over to my father-in-law's after the show to get some peppers and some fresh bread. So I may be a little delayed getting into the Discord. I cannot wait. He's a great chef and a great cook. So, Italian, you know how that goes. I'm okay. My grandkids have told me there's a lot of things I can no longer say. I had no idea. A bunch of words I'm not supposed to say anymore. A bunch of things I guess you can't say Italians are good cooks because it's racist or whatever, but it's been my experience. So at any rate, and then here's a big account. And like I said, this one looks like now we're up about 33,000. So we're doing good. Put the lines on the chart. Oh, yes. Yes. Good idea. Okay. This is a collaborative operation here. Let's quickly look over at a Tasty Trade trading screen, the Tasty Trade trading screen. So we don't have the numbers yet, right? We don't have the numbers. I wonder if I can squeeze this down and squeeze a little bit more info into the screen. I don't know if we can or not. So this is where we are right now. Damn. I got to get better. You know what? I bet you I can make this smaller. Let's go to display, general, and I can bring this way down. Boom. Now we can see more. Okay. Now let's go into the cues. By the way, I did a whole bunch of crazy Ivans today. Remember, I put on these naked puts in the cues when we were having a big down days, and then they were all coming back today, made 50% profit, I think, in 18 days, 14 days, 12 days, something like that. And just a quick look-see of those, you can see that these positions, a bunch of them are 50%, but you can see over, and of course you can't see over there. But you can see over here, I closed a bunch of these things out. So, okay, let's get back to the chart. What is the official time? It is 3:44. So not until 3:51, 15:51 do we actually see those trades come in. So we won't really know where we are and where the numbers are going to go on the chart. But this is how we figure it out. We'll watch these trades come in, and I'm going to try and squeeze this in here a little bit so that you guys can see these trades. They are going to be coming in like a mofo. That's probably another word I can't say. I can't keep track of it all. All right, so I'm going to set. You can set this on both the working as well as the filled. There you go. So right now these are the working, but that's not important to us. What we want to do is at 15:51, we'll go ahead and put those trades on so you can see what's going on the chart. So let's just take a quick look at this chart so we know what we're up against here. I'm guessing just by looking over at Tasty, we've got stuff sitting at 69.60 already. So I'm going to say that we're going to need, let's just get 69.60 on the board because that's probably where we're going to be either side of that. There it is right there. I mean, we're right on it. So it's going to be right in there somewhere. That's going to be I'm guessing what's going to be plus or minus that number. We want to pin that number. Right now, we want to pin that number if at all possible. It's not probable, but it's possible. So right now, if I look over at Tasty Trade, I'm looking and I'm seeing that I've got some right here and I've got some right here, right? So both of these are 69.90s. And look, I got $215 on these times 13 units. I got 8 units here at $1.75 each. If it pins 69.60, they'll both sides be worth zero. Unlikely to happen, right? So what we don't want is the old M&M where it goes back and forth. That would be bad because then you get punched down on both sides. But we don't know where these numbers are going to come in. If it stays right here, That's where it is. These are all, looked at it earlier today. These are all going to be exponential moving average trades. So we're just going to be on one side of them. It's about $3,800. So, if we win $3,800. If we lose $3,800. So it's a $8,000 swing. And where are we right? I had no idea. You know what? I looked at this. I was going to do a thing today where I showed you where it's been throughout the day. And I looked at it, and it was down, I think, $3,000 or $4,000. So it's probably early when those calls were getting punched out. And then I looked at it again later, and it was up $4 or $5 grand. I had no idea that we were up this much. And I'll tell you, it really bothers me, Evergreen, that you're losing, because this is a pretty clear winning day. And so unless you didn't have those on, I can't figure out what that is. But okay, did I have a straddle? No, I don't put on straddles. You can see exactly what the trades are that I put on and when I put them on. You can let's see if I can show you there. Can you see the times? No, I'm going to move this. This has got to stretch out. I'm going to show you the times here if I can. There. Okay. So it's it's not ideal here. I'm still learning, so bear with me. But there we go. So at least you can see the times, and you can't see all of them. But so what happened was that these were probably put on, it was looking for $2, and it was looking for $2 over here, probably a multiple entry iron condor. And so it is going to put on both sides. That normally doesn't happen, especially early on in the day. What's the VIX at? I don't know what the VIX is at today. That I can't figure out why. The VIX must be pretty low at this. And so where are we on the Qs? The Qs are up 146, and they were up a lot more than that earlier. So that's when I got out. When you get out at 50%, for me on those crazy Ivans, if you don't know, the thing with the crazy Ivans is that I like to put those on at 12 delta, 45 to 60 days out. It's going to be about $12,000 in buying power. You need about $400,000 worth of buying power, I think, before you get into those. I don't recommend naked puts for anybody that's got less than that. Stick with the multiple entry iron condors. Even the exponential moving averages are a little bit dicey if you're under 100,000 buying power. That's why in the $30,000 account, you'll see all we do is multiple entry iron condors. If anything, I would move the stop losses out, and I would move the premiums up. That's going to give you a little better return, bang for your buck. But what you do when we look at, we have some internal numbers that we look at, and we make about twice as much on the 150 wide as opposed to the 50 wide. The whole system, what stinks about the stock market is the whole system is geared to people that have more money. The big boys, the $100 billion funds, they really can't come mess around with multiple entry iron condors and exponential moving average and zero DTs. There's just not enough of them. Although people say, oh, there's a lot of them. Yeah, but what they do is they buy, they can go and buy $100 million worth of Microsoft, like that. They can't do that in zero DTs. And if they do, they'll move the market. If they buy $100 million worth of Microsoft today, it's not going to move the market. They can do swaps and swap into it, and it's not going to move the market like what would happen if we did. So I'm never really worried about the competition being the huge boys. I am looking at the smaller hedge funds. Those are going to be the ones that are still going to try and do zero DTs. But what happens is they're going to be a victim of their own success. So as they become more successful, they're going to get more money, and it's going to be extremely difficult. They're going to have to move to other strategies or longer DTEs or other things, and leave us to play in the zero DT sandbox alone, and that's where we'll make the money. So the other thing that we look at, let's check the time, 3:51. Here we go. Should be coming. Here they are. You can't see them coming in, but they're all on the call side. Looks like 69.95. Here they are. These are them right here. All right, $240 each times 16. That's what we got. That's going to be right around, I'm guessing, right around $3,800. And, we're trying for between $175 and $350 on the each. I don't know exactly what the numbers were. If you look over here, you can see these are the ones that just got filled at 351. Boom, 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 boom. Here they are. So now let's look at our spot. So really, what we want is somewhere between 69.55 and 69.60. That would be ideal. I mean, that would be absolutely ideal. We're going to lose some of them. It's fine. It's okay. And by the way, we know math makes money, right? But the math is we're going to win 57% of the time, and we're going to lose 43% of the time. So understand we don't try and win every single game. We don't. It's like baseball. You don't try and win every single at bat. In fact, in baseball, if you hit 4 out of 10, you're the greatest baseball hitter of all time, right? So and it's just not that way. You don't worry about an at bat. You don't worry about a game. What you worry about is the season. That's the portfolio, and that's the same way we are. Let's get back to the chart here. All right. So on this chart, what do we got? The 69.60, and what do we say we want to be between 69.65 and 69.65? Basically, we want to be within $5 of this. So down here is horrible, right? This is absolutely horrible. We need to come back. You know what? How about that? Makes it a little better. How about the cheater's way of doing it? So we want to get, if I could keep this thing, let's give a $5 boundary on each side. So here is the 55. We would love to be above that. And here is the 65, and we would love to be under that. That would be ideal. In this range would be awesome. I mean, absolutely awesome. Now, to give you an idea, let's see where we are. This is a small account. I looked at this. I thought it was a big account. I thought, oh, my God, look what happened. There's another word I can't say. So, okay, so we're up 34,000. Great. Okay, hey, nothing wrong with that. Got to love that, right? Let's get back to the charts. That's the more fun thing. All right, we got to get this bad boy up. Come on, man. And just so you can understand what's happening, taking a look at this chart, this gives you an idea of, let me pull these off of here, right? This gives you an idea of where we are. And this is where it is right now. You can't see it, but there's a little brown thing in here, and that's the expected move. Tasty will calculate the expected move in real time. So I'm going to take these trades off of here just because we don't need to look at those. And we can take those off. We get a nice clear, maybe a little more screen to see here what's going on. So there we go. So you can see, and when you look down here, you can see these are all the longs, and they're all pretty much worthless. And the same thing on the put side, they're all pretty much worthless. Let's go to the ES and then back to the, and I see my son, 30-year-old son, is trading a bunch of hood today. And, there we just got punched out. What happened? Let's take a look. Oh, look at that. Yep, we just lost on some of those. A lot of them, it looks like. It happens. What are you going to do? You can't win them all. You just can't. Let's take a look here and see if we can see what happened to this. And it still keeps going down. Well, at this point, we're okay. It's, the damage has been done. Let's take a look at Tasty, and you can see where the damage is done, right? I mean, this is where we got hurt, right? All these got punched out. These are still hanging in there, but man, if this thing keeps going down, if this bad boy keeps going down, these are going to go up in price, and we're going to get hit for 5 times $540. So or whatever it is, 6 times 6, that's $3,600. So we don't want that. So let's take a quick look at the options Omega and see how we're doing. This says, so now what do we have? 35,000. And so, but we're getting it recalculates every minute. So let's take a look at the chart. Oh, this is killing me. We need this thing to come back. And it just does not want to, does it? It just keeps heading down, 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 down. We got to get this thing to come back up. I'm watching this, and I'm thinking to myself, wow, the numbers should be a lot worse on options Omega, and it's just not hurting us because they've really got hammered about as much as they can. What's the time check on this? We're at 3:55 and 48 seconds, so it's just merciless how long this time takes. Let's move this up here so at least we can see where we are. It would be great if we could get back up in here. I mean, that would be a friggin' huge win. And I'm watching these on Tasty Trade, and I can't believe that these 8s haven't been punched out yet. I'm suspecting those are going to be punched out any minute. And the way you can tell is you can see over here that there's a working order on these, right? I don't know what the number is because I don't have it here. If I put this in here, I might be able to see what it is. What is the number for those? I have to check the working orders to see what is it, 6960? 6960 is right here. It looks like it's 7. Is that what it is? 740? Those probably aren't the ones. There are probably some others that are in there. There's 6 of them. So 6960. Oh, is it? Here it is. $11.10 is where we'd be punched out. So as long as it stays under 11.10, then we're going to be not going to have that full loss. So actually, that's not so terrible. So let's go back and take a look at the charts here. Hello, Ace Ventura. Hello, MD11. Hello, Butch Barnum. I see all you guys. The VIX is at 16. Thank you very much. We got to love the chat for that. And, oh, shoot, there we just got to fill at $9.80 on that huge drop down. So that's not going to help us much. Let's take a look at the chart. Got to see what this chart, the chart's still just not helping us at all here. Time check. All right, what's the time check? We get a good time here. We got to get out of Dodge here. 357.5. 357.5. We still got two puts that have not been punched out yet. And these things, if we can get something to come back up to 69.60, we would be in clover. I mean, clover. That would be $3,000 right there. 3,200 now if we get back. But I just don't think the problem, of course, is going to be if those come back. If these come back, then these over here are going to be in trouble. So it's kind of a mixed bag. It's kind of a pickle, but it's all right. The numbers are the numbers. So let's see here. What's this say? Rob, on a $100,000 account, buying power is shown by day trading buying power as 190,000. Do that buying power or just half as it were a cash only account? I only use the buying power that's down in the left-hand corner, the right-hand corner. So that's the buying power I use. Casey will tell you the buying power. I have portfolio margin in my account, which may account for the difference. But I can tell you if I have a 150 wide, and it really is 150 wide on the SPX, then that is going to be $15,000 of real buying power. If it's 5,000 wide, it's going to use 5,000 buying power maximum. Because as you get later in the day, the chances that the broker is going to lose all their money is lower. And so they don't hold back nearly as much. On 150 wide, it might be 15,000 at 9:30 in the morning, and the 551s are probably using $2,500 worth of buying power. So you can, and although I don't reuse buying power, we are working on don't tell anybody, but we're working on Vera 3.0, which will be a way to reuse buying power. We have less than 1 minute to go here, guys. Less than 1 minute to go. Here's our chart. Here's our options Omega. I mean, we're still up. I think we're still up 36 grand because we're winning. See, we're winning on the call side, even though we're getting punched out on the put side. This is a beautiful part about it. Remember, it was the calls. It was the calls that we put on at 1551. So all of those are winning. That's $7,000. We're going to win every single one of those. I hadn't even thought of it that way. In other words, look at this. These are all the ones that were added on. These 16 and these 13, I don't know for sure, but I'm guessing that these were the ones added on. And every single one of these is going to be a winner. That's why we test millions of back tests. Someone asked me in the Discord yesterday, why is it that 1551 is good or 1256? And I hate to tell you the answer. I don't know. And I will tell you this. You don't know, you can't know, and you'll never know, right? Oh, there's the close. What are we doing here? It never did come back up. But you know what? That's okay. That's okay because 69.55 was actually the number on, now that I look at it, 69.55 was the number where those calls came in right here. So we wanted to stay under. I was cheering for it to go the wrong way. I'm such a dope sometimes. I get too excited. And so here's where we ended up today. Somebody do the math for me here real quick. That's got to be a good number, right? I mean, that's got to be 30,000 plus. I mean, that's got to be a good number. And let's take a look at how we finished for the smaller account. I can do that one. That's $1,046. How about that? No, it's the other way. I'm so stupid. That's what you get for going to a public school. I can't believe I said that. Please erase. Somebody erase this. Oh, my God. So, okay. So that's pretty good. That's actually really good. We can make $1,000 in that account, and they'll recalculate. We still got some longs that got to close, and it might change by $1,000, but it's going to be somewhere in that 36,000. Look at that on the chat, 36,063. Hello, and I'll bet you by the time we're done, it's a $35,000 winning day. Not too shabby, right? Not too shabby. Take a look here, just so you can see where we were. These were the ones that were added. Remember, they're all on the call side. These things ended up, so we will get a notice on SPX or cash settled. So what's going to happen is I'll get an email tomorrow about 7:30, 8:30, and they're going to say, oh, you had some puts that expired in the money, so you're going to have to pay for those. And where did we close at? 69.50.29. So those were 29 cents to the good, these right here. And so I won't have to pay anything for those. But on these, I'll have to pay $970. But that has already been accounted for by Options Omega. So that has already been accounted for. And there, I think they've now they resorted that because the time is now 4:02. So it's probably time that they've resorted those. There's so many, market on close orders that come in the last minute. The SPX, it takes a long time for them to feed it to Oprah, and then Oprah to feed it to Options Omega. But I don't know how the guys at Options Omega do it. But it's really a fantastic product. I just can't say enough good things. Without it, I wouldn't have a business. So I'm just hopeful they don't hear this and come and ask for some commission. But you got 329, and then you add in another 30,000, whatever it is. That's a pretty good day. Okay, so a couple things. We're going to try and do this at 3:30. I got a new camera. I'll get that set up for tomorrow. We're going to do it 3:30 every day. Don't forget, we give you all of our trades. Somebody asked me today, where do I get the trades? You're going to get the trades Sunday, 5:50. Maria will always be there. Maria will always be here Friday. Maria put out an earnings video yesterday. She's got one that's coming out tomorrow for the earnings plays for tomorrow night. She told me there were 27 or 37 earnings that she's looking at, but that she probably won't trade, 20, 25% of them. And she will go on and tell you why she's not doing it. She works with Vera, our AI assistant, every single day for 6-8 hours a day. I'm working on those, but Maria makes all the final decisions. She's been trading a long time, and she knows what the heck she's doing. And one of these days, we'll get Tyler on here, and he'll show you how he scalps those cues during the day. You got to have nerves of steel and quite a bit of buying power to do that. But he makes a lot of money doing it. And then he does the wheel strategy, as does Maria. So that's all we have for today. If you have any questions, put them in the Discord. I will get back to you after I go have those sausages and peppers and bread. And sorry for all the delays and the problems today, but it will never be worse than it is today. I hope you have a great trading day. Thank you so much for coming in to the chat room. It means a bunch to me. And if you're lurking, don't be afraid to just enter and say hi. That's all we want to hear. By the way, I went surfing today, 80 degrees in Daytona Beach. I can't wait. I want to ask you tomorrow what the weather is in your area. You have a great trading day. Talk to you later. All right, now I'm supposed to figure out how to turn this off in the stream. And what they told me is it keeps going. So, I did it wrong again. Doggone it. I'm supposed to keep talking